Cool. So I have Ryan here. This is my second time interviewing him. It's his third month, and he just hit a $40,000 month. All right. Tell us, what does your call volume look like? What does it look like daily for you?
Man, it's 8 calls a day, 10 to 6. I wake up, I get ready for the gym, I crush it, and then I start my day off at 10, and I just have calls booked in my calendar. And, I do my preliminary research before every call, and then I hone in and get people to lock down, man, and it's a really great opportunity. If there's 8 calls in a day times 5, I'm taking 40 calls a week. So there's no reason you shouldn't be, closing 5, 10 sales a week.
It's like also a rush making these closes, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not only a rush, but like we're making a big impact. Like we're actually helping people out, right?
Yeah,
Like we're
yeah.
selling these coaching offers, like these transformations. And it's much more fulfilling than what I used to sell insurance. I know you used to be in tech or like what? Corporate sales?
SaaS.
SaaS.
I essentially jumped into an industry called the PEO industry, and I did a corporate job for 1 full year and ran into the second year. And basically, I was in a situation where I was putting in a lot of hours, a lot of time, was creating a bunch of cold calls to generate new business. And the generation of new business was a super long sales cycle, talking about making your commission anywhere between 3 and 6 months was the timetable. I was making over 300, 350 calls a week in order for me to generate new business on my own, fully cold, nothing warm. And when I was doing that, I just always felt like I was capable of so much more. And I wanted to enhance a lot of my different skill sets. And I really wanted to dive into high ticket sales. So that's when I reached out to you.
Why should other people make a pivot into high ticket sales?
I just think, and I really run into this a lot, is that when you're between the ages of like 20 and 25, there's so much potential in you, so much like going through your head. You're constantly watching Instagram and constantly watching TikTok, social media, constantly figuring out all these people that are succeeding at your age and they're taking risks on their life. And high ticket sales, like, gave me an avenue and an opportunity for me to escape corporate, escape, I guess, quote unquote, the matrix by taking a leap of faith on what I believed in. I think the biggest value proposition that people can really come about in is that if you have confidence, charisma, and you have the hardworking mentality, then it doesn't matter what your salary is. It doesn't matter how much you're making.
Yeah.
If you believe in yourself, possibilities are endless for you, right?
So what was your progression? You're in month 3 now. So if you kind of walk us through how that looked like for you.
Yeah, I would always say any job you take or any situation you place yourself in, there's going to be a learning curve, learning period. And the best way to kind of like get into the mindset of like you're going to succeed is understanding that repetition matters. Seeing it verbally, like, and doing the act that you're learning is what is going to transition you to actually be very, very good at something, right? So early on, it was a massive learning curve to switch to a really long sales process to a shorter sales cycle. However, me taking calls, me learning the framework, me sacrificing time outside of my corporate job to really hone in on exactly what I'm building, what I'm learning through you and what, everybody else has taught me, that repetition matters. Month 1, I'm taking calls, I'm learning, I'm understanding how to handle objections. And month 2 and 3, I'm starting to see my commissions rolling like that. I'm taking 8 calls a day and, the possibilities are constantly endless for me. So,
And it was like what? It was like 2 weeks, 3 weeks of us working together. You're on an offer.
yeah, it was as simple as that. I was on an offer between the 2 to 3 week range. And I was super excited to get started.
Ryan, why should people work with me?
People should work with Tim is because he has a really selfless attitude. And I see that right through him. He cares about your progression. He cares and wants you to, develop massive skill sets. He believes that people are capable of a lot more than what they were doing before. And for him to take time out of his busy day, because it's really difficult to get a hold of Tim sometimes.
I still close to this day.
He still closes. He does things. He cares about your success. And if it's not a fit for you at the end of the day, he's always going to point you in the right direction moving forward. And that's what I appreciate. And that's why anybody should go to him, you
I
know?
appreciate you, Ryan.
Yeah, brother, I appreciate you.
For real, for real.